with the flow. It's the Hershey and Keegs Show.
Here we go, Hershey and the Keegs Show. How you doing, Monty?
Where's the
Good to
song?
see-
I didn't hear the song.
No, you know what? It's different now. Tony doesn't play the music in our ears sometimes.
Oh, but it played for the people watching.
We think it did. Yes. Welcome to the Hershey and the Keegs Show. Mikey is not here tonight. He had a gig. We have Chris Monty co-hosting. Hello, Chris Monty.
Hello, Mark Hershey.
Good
Hershman.
to see you, pal.
Thanks for having me.
Tony Walker's here. Listen, we have a lot to go over. We have a guest coming on in a couple of minutes. We have Goomba Johnny zooming in.
Goomba Johnny.
But we have some housekeeping to take care of, so let's go ahead and do that. Birthdays. Let's do some birthdays first, okay? First birthday I wanted to give a little shout out to my next door neighbor and dear friend Tina Botkin had a birthday yesterday, July 13th.
Happy birthday, Cancerian.
She's a good person. I wanted to give a little pop to her husband Greg, who had a little bit of a health scare a few weeks back, and he's doing well. So let's give it a little shot.
Prayers and positive energy to him.
You've met Greg and Tina over the years. They're good people, good neighbors. So happy birthday to Tina.
Happy birthday.
Gregory, feel well. Today is July 14th. We have a special birthday coming up tomorrow, July 15th. Fan of Hershey and the Keegs Show, fan of Knock 'em Dead Comedy, guest of Knock 'em Dead Comedy multiple times, and he actually has a picture on the wall here at the studio. It is Cole Fiumara's 12th birthday tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. So comedian Rosie Fiumara's son Cole, who's been in here multiple times. Johnny, we'll punch up Johnny in a second.
Who's funnier, the son or the mother?
Let me tell you, this is a funny kid. He's a good kid. He's a very talented kid. He recently scored a 27 out of 28 on his NISMA score, which is not easy to do.
Intelligent,
but he's just a good young man. He's funny. He's sweet. He loves his daddy. He loves his uncle, his grandma, and most of all, what I like most about the kid is he loves his mama the most. Just like I did as a kid.
So
he's a little Italian kid. And so happy birthday tomorrow to Cole. Cole is away on a camp trip celebrating his 12th birthday with his buddies.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Wishing him the best because he deserves it. He's a wonderful kid. And you know what? Should we, maybe because Johnny's here, we'll punch him up and we'll talk about your birthday after he's done, if he's here.
Yeah, my birthday's nothing special.
Wow.
Although, what'd you say on Facebook? Happy 70 something?
74th.
Yeah.
Was that, did I undershoot it?
Yeah, I'm 82.
We're going to go ahead and shoot it. With no further ado, he is sideways, so
he
we're
is
going to have to
sideways
figure out
on our camera.
Why am I sideways?
I don't know, Johnny. You tell me.
he is.
There you go. Now you're straight.
With no
I
further
never knew you
ado,
were sideways, Johnny.
For the first time in our 4.5-year existence, we are more than honored at the Hershey and Keegs Show with the guest host of Chris Monty to welcome on the well-esteemed Goomba Johnny. Hi, Johnny. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've never been introduced like that. No one's ever used the word esteem.
You are esteemed, and I have to ask
They
you.
use the word steaming followed by something else, but
Me and Me and Mr. Montroni were just talking about what an accomplished resume you have, and that's not blowing smoke up your ass. It's true, you do. I just want to know where it's going to sit as far as when you look back one day in the history of all that Johnny Goomba Johnny has accomplished. Being not only a guest on the Herschy and Keegs show, but getting to perform a week later with Herschy from Herschy and the Keegs show at the brokerage. How is that going to sit in on the history of Goomba Johnny one day?
I think that it's like right up there with meeting Olivia Newton-John.
Wow,
Because that was a big deal for me.
that was right.
That is
Yeah,
that's
that was a big deal. Man,
I-
I kept on saying, I was interviewing her, and I kept on saying, Sandy D, Sandy D. And she goes, John,
I love that.
just call me Olivia.
Especially for people in our age range, Olivia Newton-John was, like she was the one, right?
was-
Like,
Oh my God.
yeah, she
you
was
know.
hot to trot, man. I mean, Grease. Who didn't have a crush
But
on?
like that whole, we loved Olivia Newton-John, Pat Benatar, Joan Jett, like those were the.
Well,
people
I'm a little
that-
bit younger than you. Well, not young. I don't know how old you are, John. but
Johnny's probably a couple years older.
If
than
you
us,
wanna
but
tell us,
Sam-
you don't have to
no,
tell
no,
us.
No, he's a couple years older.
I'll be 70 in September.
really?
God bless.
I was. I thought. I swear to God, I thought you would have said I'll be like 62 when you were going to say your age.
No, so I'll be 70 in September 29th.
Wow.
God bless you.
You
You
don't
look
look, dude. You don't even look near. If you would have said I'm turning 60, I'd have believed you because you look great. But
Well, I'm still high from the 80s. So
Yeah.
and all I remember is when I met Johnny back in the
Well, that's what I want to know. I want to know the history of you.
late
and Goomba
90s,
Johnny.
early 2000s when he was on the radio. And he
Yeah.
used to do the Wednesday night, the Goomba Johnny and Friends show at the brokerage with Gary Smith when he owned the club
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
Governors
yeah.
took it over. And you'd have me on, you'd have Greg, we were just talking about it before we went on air. With Greg Vaccarello would come in and Joe Starr and all the guys. And it was just a great time. And I remember Johnny sometimes would come in and he was wearing like leather pants with like a leather shirt. And I'm like, he's going to sweat his balls off on stage. Does he know how hot those lights are?
That's fantastic.
I had a reputation to keep.
You did.
Mr. Monty.
Do you-
It's funny, man. I don't want to say I'm getting older. I am older now, and it's what's one of the most amazing things about getting older is how little you need and how little you care.
Right. Yep. It's true.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I used to get insulted so easy and was so sensitive, about criticism and stuff like that. And, I used to have to have the latest clothes or this or that. And at this age, I don't give a shit. You can say anything you want about me to
Who
my
cares?
face.
I'm in my 50s now, and I'm at that point where I'm like, my wife will say, "Oh, did you see somebody wrote a nasty comment on your video?" I go, I don't give a shit. It's people looking for negative shit. I don't care.
You're like, I don't care what
Yeah.
Hirschman wrote about my video.
Yeah, he always makes fun of me, but she knows that's coming with love. But yeah, same thing. It's like I have a couple of old aunts and uncles, that are in their 90s now, and they just say whatever they want.
Yeah,
They don't give
no
a
filter.
Oh,
shit.
no filter.
Yeah,
filter.
they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They don't care, and God bless them, because my uncle's 91.
You
Good,
don't care.
he should say
God
whatever he
bless him.
wants.
Goomba, what do you remember about at the time a 25, 28-year-old Monty? Do you remember thinking that he was going to become all that he's become? Like, what do you remember about him back
He
then?
probably didn't think of me much.
Well, I thought he was. My first impression of him when I introduced him and he corrected me, I said, I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Monty," and later he pulled me on the side and he said, "It's Monte."
Yeah.
And
full of shit.
I really, I was impressed by his snarky,
Yeah.
upper crusty
Right.
attitude that he had.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he grew up on the very fancy side of Elmont.
Yeah,
So that was
I'm
why
from,
he was able
you know.
to do that, for sure.
No, Johnny, I've watched. I don't know when you started doing comedy. Back when you were DJing on the radio, right?
I started doing. I did it. It's interesting. Because I get asked this question a lot. In the '80s, I managed the comedy club. Okay, and comedians didn't show up, and I had to go on stage and host. So I got this brilliant idea that I could afford better headliners if I just hosted myself and I didn't pay myself.
Okay.
So I would have that extra money. Back in the day, when in the '80s, the comedy it was the total opposite it is now. You had you had you had too many comedy clubs and not enough comedians. Now there's too many comedians
Right.
and not enough comedy clubs.
Right. Right.
It came full circle. So I would host, and I would get up there and do personality stuff, all the stock shit. And then I got on the radio in 95, 96, and then somewhere around 98, I said, you know what? I mean, I want to go out and do comedy again, but I was just hosting. So I would do shows. I
No,
would
but it was
open up.
smart too because you're probably getting like door deals because you can draw
Well,
from the
yeah,
radio.
and
Because those Wednesday
plus-
nights at the brokerage, I was telling Mark, Wednesday night, that club was never even open. When you did your show, it was packed. It was packed every time you did it.
Well, yeah, when you speak to 2 million people, it's not hard
Right.
to do that. So, when I worked, when I was opening, I would open up for Dice. I worked with Colin Quinn, and I worked with Kevin Pollak and Rich Jenny, and all these really, really top tier comedians. And I got to see them and watch them perform, and learn a lot about the business. And when I left radio in 2012, that's when I decided to take it seriously. I started to perform when I left the radio. I got on stage, and I quickly realized that I was not a legitimate headliner. You know what I mean? I could have been a headliner if I was on radio and people would come see me, but I did not have an act that was worthy of calling myself a headliner. So I would say it took me about 2 years to come up to snuff, and I had a headlining act, and then as you know, the more you get up on stage, the better you get.
Right.
So, Goomba, I'm curious though. When you felt like you didn't have the act, did you have the time? Did you have 40 minutes that you just didn't think was strong enough, or it was a combination of needing the time and the quality of material?
I always had enough time. I didn't have the continuity, and it didn't. I wasn't smooth. Like, one of the things I love about Chris is he's so polished.
It's the word I use all the time. I was talking to
Yeah,
Rich
yeah.
Walker and Peter Bowles about him the other day, and
Yeah.
and I've been friends with this guy literally for 16 years. And to me, there is no more polished act around.
Yeah.
It is smooth
Thank you.
as
You guys
smooth
know.
as silk.
I'm
Yeah, no, it is. I mean,
I'm
listen,
humble.
No, he's
yeah,
he's spit polished. He's spit shined.
Yep.
They say.
Yep.
And you don't. And it's cool because back in the day, you would see more comedians like Chris. Today, you don't. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
Well, you're getting famous in 5 seconds off of the internet or
Right.
social media, and now you got guys like I've been here on any club around the country from here to California. You know it, John. You know it.
Yeah.
You go in on a Wednesday night. It's packed. Who's here tonight? I don't know. Some TikTok star, and he's got 6 openers because he can only do 25 minutes.
Yeah.
He can only do 25 minutes.
Yeah, Timmy Tulips
Yeah.
is here. Yeah,
And
exactly.
then he comes up and shows 3 videos.
Yeah, and people paid $85 a ticket to watch a guy do 20 minutes.
Oh, dude! Me and I work with Anthony Rodilla. So me and Anthony were Wednesday night. We were at Governor's, and they had some YouTube star there that sold the place out. And he comes out, and his opening line is, "Am I the only one here who suffers from anxiety?" And they were going, "No, I do too." And he's selling t-shirts that say "I'm depressed."
Yeah.
And it was like it had very little to do with comedy. You know what I mean? And
Right.
So you'll agree with what I'm saying, Chris. The business has changed. Okay, when we were in it, people used to come to hear you. Now there's a segment of the crowd that come just to see people.
Yeah, that's
Right.
really on
Yeah.
point.
You know what I
that's-
mean?
Yeah.
Yep. No,
It's-
exactly. And the
it's the
youth,
whole-
as far as the youthful fans, they only have an attention span of 20
of
minutes
a
max
max.
anyway, so
Yeah.
they don't care if the headline is not doing an hour.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Keegan and I talk about this all the time, and we never mention the name because we like the kid a lot. But this was a couple of years ago, right after COVID, where Mike and I were opening for this guy who had gotten really, really hot during COVID from all the internet stuff, and he was headlining, and he came up to us and said, "I don't have the time they're asking me to do," and Mike had to do like my 10 minutes became 17 minutes, and Mike's 20 minutes became 30, and he still got the same money. And the truth is this, like, that's more of a circumstance of what's happening. Like, he wasn't a douchebag, this guy. He was a nice, humble kid who just, he got invited to come because that's the way of the world now, that people are coming to see you and see you live and maybe not hear your jokes. So that's just kind of the way of it. And I think it's definitely tough for even a guy like Rodea, who made his fame mostly on the internet stuff. The fact that he crafted himself into a strong act probably is a testament to what he does. He's a powerful comedian.
He's the exception,
correct?
Not the rule.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he put the work in.
Yeah.
But he also had the natural talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, making it now, it takes time. I mean, if you're going to get a 30-second video that goes viral, that's talent too.
No doubt.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that you could do 45 minutes on stage, you know, in front of a live audience. So
that's right.
It's very different. So what you have is you have comedians like me and Chris, and then you have other comedians, and it's like a glorified meet and greet.
Yeah, right. There's no doubt.
That's exactly like a soap show, soap stars.
Exactly.
Yeah, like soap shows. And you can't. Some comedians, like, you know, from my era, Chris's era, they get really upset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't, because, you know, the business is changing.
Everything's changed.
Yeah. And change is constant. And it's like, you know, like, how did this happen? And you know what? The people will tell you what they want.
Yeah.
And you know what I've done, just on a sidebar? I've changed. So what I do is, like, you know, it used to be comedy clubs. I got to get famous. I want to be the draw. But I've changed to where I can make my living in 55 and over communities or corporate fundraisers or golf events, whatever, and that's big money there.
Yeah.
You're not famous, but you're still making a nice paycheck.
You're paying the bills,
you know, and you're paying the bills, and you're doing comedy. And then when you get a comedy club, and you need comedy clubs, because comedy clubs are the gym for guys like us to work out hammer out our material, right? So that when you do that private event, you go and kill for 45 minutes.
That's right.
And you can make the big fat paycheck.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of guys that can do that.
No.
You know what I mean? You know.
No, I know. I got friends.
You and I have been in a million different situations, so we're pretty fearless as far as somebody says, "All right, I got a gig over here." I don't drive to a gig anymore and sweat anything, no matter what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
I don't care anymore. I go, listen, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to do my best. And if they suck because it's a Monday golf outing at 7 o'clock, they're already hammered and they're tired. I go, I'm doing my 25-30 at a golf event. The guy's giving me my check. I don't take the gig home with me.
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
And sometimes you got to be honest with the audience. I'll just look at them and say, "Hey, look, guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't want to be here either."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You
that
know,
helps.
I'm getting the feeling that you don't like me, and guess what? I don't like you either.
I got
what
a funny
and
story.
they get it. They break down and laugh. You know.
Rosie, who's going to host the show with us, Rosie Fiumara, who's great. She's great. But about a year or two ago, it's a Thursday night. We're doing a gig somewhere for her friend Danny Calabrese. We're doing some backroom restaurant Christmas party show.
Yeah.
And they're not easy, you know. And so Rosie was like hosting, or she did like a 10-minute spot.
Yeah.
She didn't do so well, but none of us, we all worked to get the laughs that night. So it wasn't her. It was just that was the room, and they weren't really whatever. So after the show, we're all sitting at the bar having a drink, and Rosie's like, you could tell, because she's newer, she's taking it to heart, and she's going to take it home with her. And I looked at her and I said, here's the difference between you, me, and I think Rich Walker was on the show. I go, here's the difference between you and me and Rich Walker. I go, you're going to take this set home with you tonight, because it didn't go great. I said, Rich and I are just thrilled that they paid us in cash.
That's true.
We didn't give a shit how the set went. The guy gave me an envelope of cash. I was like, this is great.
You remind me of, this is a funny story. All right. So I get asked to do a Christmas party to host it. All right. Listen to this lineup: me, Joey Kohler, and Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It's a Christmas party that a guy's throwing for his company. I'm not going to mention the guy's name because he's still active. It's a very large construction company. Right. So I go up. I do 15 minutes, and I got to tell you, it's hard to sweat in 15 minutes. But I was like
drenched.
I wasn't drenched, but I had to work 3 times as hard,
right,
to get half the response. Joey Cola goes up there. Now, this is Joey Cola. If you've seen Joey Cola, you know
Love Joey Cole. We all do.
he's flawless in his likability.
And he doesn't usually miss. I've never seen.
And
Yeah.
having the experience of being a warm-up act forever,
Yeah.
you figure he's going to get them no matter what because he
Right.
knows how to get a crowd.
He knows
to
all
start.
the tricks. And
Yeah.
he knows all the
So
tricks.
he gets up there. He comes off the stage. He's dripping sweat. He goes, man, what's going on up there? Right? I said, I don't know, Joey. It's a fucking tight room. And he goes, but it's Christmas. I said, I know. I can't figure it out. Gilbert Gottfried goes up there and bombs like you can't believe. And he taught me such a great lesson. He masterfully went through his act as if he was fucking getting a standing ovation. He did not flinch. He did his whole act and he fucking bombed, right? So we get off stage, everybody's looking at each other. Gilbert didn't say a word. He was smooth as ice. So I'm saying that some guy comes up to me and goes, hey, Johnny, he goes, you guys did good. So I said, are you kidding me? So I said, what are you talking about? I said, that was really, the room was so cold. He goes, Johnny, you don't understand. You think this is a Christmas party? He goes, everybody is here tonight because this scumbag it owes them money. Because everybody hates this fucking guy.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
We just came to keep an eye on this fucking guy. He goes, the guy owes me $75,000. He goes, I want to kill him. He goes, and he still goes like this, a fucking comedy show? That's a joke in itself. And I said, Jesus Christ, I had no idea.
Did you get paid?
Oh yeah. I mean, I got paid, but I just thought
That's
it
great.
was typical. It was typical of an experience that a comedian can have because you never know what you're going into.
Right. When it's not a
You know,
club or a theater and you're not
Yeah.
there with, a big name or you're the big name, whatever it is. When you're going
Yeah.
into the catering hall
Yeah.
or the back of the, restaurant or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did one like that. I did a birthday party and the husband, it was a woman's birthday party. Her husband hated her sister.
Yeah.
And during my whole set, it was just me to do like 40 minutes at a birthday party.
Yeah.
Real Italian. And the husband was drunk and he cursed out his sister-in-law through my whole set.
Oh, perfect.
Like it was awkward silence. I'm trying to do jokes, and he's like, "You're a fucking cunt." I don't want to say it, but like they're going back and forth. She's like, "Fuck you! I hope you die." And I'm trying to do my act.
Yeah.
And I leave, and the son comes up and he gives me an envelope, and he goes, "I'm so sorry that you had to endure that." And I said, "I got paid. I'm going home." I said, "I'm sorry. You have to live with this."
Live with that,
And then I left.
Yeah. We always talk about on this show how you should do comedy where you're supposed to do comedy. And I've told the story before that I must have been doing comedy for about 2 or 3 years. And Tina, who I just mentioned a little earlier, became the PTA president, my next door neighbor. And she says, we're going to have this big event over at Verdi's. It's going to be 300 people. All the moms and the dads from the town are going to come. And we want you to open with 10 minutes. And I said, Tina, I love you, but it's a terrible idea.
Right.
They don't want to see stand-up comedy.
Unless it's a comedy night.
But
Right.
this was a fundraiser where people eat and drink and Chinese auction. They don't give a fuck about it.
Raffles.
But I gave in and I did it. And I got up there, and when I tell you that there maybe was 7 people listening, it got to a point where one of my friends, she got on stage and she started yelling into the mic, "Listen to this man. He's doing the best he can up here." And I was fucking mortified out of my skin.
We've all been there.
I went back
know.
up. They were quiet for about 30 seconds, and then the next eight minutes they just kept on talking. So the bottom line is,
Somebody had to beg for your life.
yeah,
And
they
you
did.
know,
Yeah. They begged.
And Johnny's got the experience. When some nights soon as you take the gig and you hope it's going to go, but soon as you walk in, you go, "Oh, this is not going to work."
No.
You just know,
You know.
when you walk. I did one of those last year. It was a PTA Christmas party, and it was a high end up in like New Rochelle, and
Dead.
everybody's dressed to the nines, and they have a photo booth, and they have all this. And I walked in, and I said to the girl, she comes up to me, she says, "I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad to have you." And I go, "This is not going to work, right?" She goes, No, it's going to be great." She didn't even pay attention to my show. She was at the bar getting drunk, doing shots, and I talked to 6 people out of 300 people.
And no one gave a
Right.
fuck.
She paid
Oh,
me.
yeah.
She zelled me. She zelled me that night, and I go,
Yeah.
as long as that money's good, I don't
Right.
give a shit.
But it takes a long time to get to the point of Goomba Johnny and Chris Monty. Newer comics are very sensitive about eating it and wondering why they didn't do well, and you don't give a fuck at this point. You guys,
I know going in. I got a couple golf outings booked. The rest of the summer. As on Mondays, like my wife's like, "Why you look so depressed?" I go, "Because I got to do this golf outing tonight." And she goes, "I know, but you know how much money you're getting, right?"
Yeah.
I go, "I know, but it's not. It's the art is lost. My stomach is in butterflies because they're gonna." I go, "I'm gonna go do the gig, and I'm not gonna care because I'm gonna have 3 whiskeys before I go on." But I go, I don't want to have to do this gig.
Johnny, this is a question that I had talked to. I think we had Richie, our friend Richie Byrne, on the show. I'm sure you know, maybe a couple of months ago, and I was talking about, as comics get older, why do we very rarely see stand-up comics retire? And put the money thing aside, do you feel that, money aside, you would still do time? You do stand-up for as long as you could, just keep on going for as long as you could?
Well, I think Jerry Seinfeld answers that question. He's worth $1 billion, and he still
He loves the art.
Yeah.
He loves the art.
Yeah.
He still shows up at Gotham.
But do
during the
you
week.
feel the
And
same
he does
way,
his
though?
big theater shows.
Do both of you guys feel the same way about that?
I'll always do comedy.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if I'm in a position of. You ever see the movie The Gambler?
Of course.
If I'm in a position to fuck you, that's my favorite line in the movie where John Goodman gives that monologue.
Yeah.
If I'm in a position to fuck you, am I going to still do comedy? Probably, but I'm not going to do what I don't want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah, no,
Yeah.
there are certain places.
I'm not going to Villaroma.
Right.
I already fucking X'd that out of my.
I know.
But you're beloved there, though. You know that.
No, they
though.
love me there. I have a great following there. I did
Yeah.
a show last week, and there was like 250, 300 people in the thing, and like 50 of them were wearing my T-shirt that I sell after the show.
Yeah.
Everybody comes walking up. I'm like, and I was like, damn, I guess I'm not selling any T-shirts tonight.
So think about it, though. Your connection to Villaroma, and then our connection with the Siegel family, and now you wind up having gigs in the Catskills. So it just like that's one thing leads to another. You know,
job security.
That's it. That's your
Well,
pension.
Villaroma is like Las Vegas for you.
No, Las Vegas was a lot more fun. And nicer accommodations, Johnny. At least even at the Riviera, I had a nicer hotel room.
Well, I gotta say, me and Anthony Rodia did it, and they gave Anthony a fantastic deal, and me and Anthony would be backstage.
But he's doing a door deal.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, me and Anthony are backstage, and I'm looking at him. I go, Jesus Christ! Fucking 2 months ago, we were at the Venetian. We're in fucking Villaroma.
Yep, and the backstage is like all panel walls, and it has.
But the money's the same though, Goomba, and that's what you're doing it for, obviously.
Well, you know what? You can knock Villaroma all you want, and there's a million.
No,
ways
I
to
love it.
knock
I love it.
But
The staff's
I will
great.
say this: the thing that makes Villaroma great is the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I do it.
Yeah, the people are fantastic. Yes, the rooms suck, and the pool is small or whatever, and the food is barely, fucking prison quality. But the people that go there from Brooklyn, Bronx,
Long Island,
Queens,
Jersey.
Long Island, they're just wonderful, wonderful people that have been going there for 30 years, and they just want to have a good time, and they want to see their friends that they see every year for
That's
the
the
past
best.
30 years.
That's the best.
That's what makes it is the fans.
Yeah.
When people come up to me after the show.
The people make it. So I mean, there's a million Villaroma jokes, but the truth of the matter is the people make that place special.
And the truth is,
it's good.
hopefully, listen, looking back at the Nevele and Stevensville and all these places that are gone, thank God, Kutch is all gone. All these places are all rotted out buildings on the fucking highway. Villaroma, hopefully, we can go on forever. At least the Villaroma still survive with their wood panels, and it looks like Dirty Dancing. Hopefully,
oh my God,
manages.
it does look like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, but hopefully,
No, there's
it stays.
nostalgia to that, but you need to update the nostalgia. Just make it a modern panel and red carpet.
Of course. I want to dive a little deep into, because the truth is, all kidding aside, this guy's IMDb or resume or whatever you want to say, if you're looking back at Goomba, it goes from SUNY Brockport to the New York Giants to the New York Jets to a neck injury to Bodyguard to opening for Kinnison and Smokey Robinson and Dice and George Wallace and Pat Cooper. Like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, what did you ever in your life think that you were going to leave home, go to SUNY Brockport, become a professional football player, and then
Wow.
like, how did that happen?
Well, I look. There's three ways you can accomplish something in this world. Number one is by design. You have a plan. Number two is by destiny, and number three is a combination of both. I'm not smart enough to do any of the things I did. I was very blessed. God gave me a lot of opportunity, and I was always a hard worker. I always started off on the bottom and tried to finish near the top. But I was blessed with a tremendous amount of opportunity. I only played 3 years of college football. I was the first person to sign a professional contract out of my college, so they told me.
You
Yeah.
went to
Uh,
Giants first?
no, Jets,
Jets?
and then the Giants, and then after that, I opened up a bodyguarding company, and then I did bodyguarding work for Sam Kinison. I did Malcolm Forbes, Smokey Robinson, a whole bunch of other people, and then I got into the comedy club business, and um, I was also involved in the nightclub business, and I was hosting a dance contest one night in a nightclub, and a guy came up to me and he goes, you should be on the radio. And I'm like, what makes you say that? He goes, well, you got a great voice and your sense of humor. He goes, you would do fantastic. And I'm like, what's the point of this conversation? What do you want to drink? So he goes, no, no, I work at Z100. Why don't you come down? So on and so forth. So I would go down to Z100, 2, 3 nights a week for like 2.5, 3 years, and I would learn the business. And eventually, I ended up getting an audition at KTU, and that ended up into a very,
I've
very
made you. I listened to you. I grew up listening to you.
So were
yeah.
you were, you-
You know,
were
it's
you
Funny
on
that
the air at
people.
C100 though, or you were just going down there to
Oh,
learn?
I would perform voices, go on the air.
On the
I was,
morning
I
zoo or
was
whatever it was called.
no,
The
I was
night.
at
This is the
night.
nighttime.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was at nighttime, and then we did some work out in Kiss FM in Los Angeles, and then I ended up at KTU, and it was weird. I never wanted to be a comedian. I
No,
don't know
you were
how
great
what
though. You were so funny on that show, on the
I,
radio show.
I never wanted to be on the radio. You know what I mean? I never walked to school and said, one day I'm going to be a comedian, or one day I'm going to be on the radio.
Well,
I,
what did
I
you do? Did you walk there saying I'm going to play in the NFL? Like, what was
I'm going to
the
play for the
plan?
Jets because they're going to win the Super
no,
Bowl.
no, I didn't think. I want to pick the worst team.
Yeah.
I think I can
Like,
get.
Did
No,
you wait? How old are you? Did you play at Shea or did you play at New Jersey Giant Stadium
uh, Meadowlands.
at the Meadowlands? Okay, I probably was
Yes.
there. What years did you play? Because I had season tickets.
79. I was just went to camp with the Jets, and
Oh, they
then
were still in Queens then.
Hofstra.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
Something
played.
to
They
get-
didn't play until '84 in New Jersey.
Let the man tell the
I'm
fucking
sorry.
story, please.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, I forgot what I was talking about.
What are your fucking mother's
What year
almanac?
you played for the Jets?
Let him tell the fucking
No,
story.
I
No one's
got,
going to
I
fact
got,
check.
I got hit too hard. So, no, I mean, out of college, I had no plans to play football, and after my junior year, my coach told me I might have an opportunity to get a contract. I was actually very surprised, and I had to gain 20 pounds. He told me. I remember I was 242, and he goes, "You got to get up to 262." And I'm like, "Coach, I fucking ate a half a gallon of ice cream before I go to bed. I don't know what the fuck am I gonna do." So good. So, uh, that whole year I gained the weight, and
Yeah. Where'd you
I
play high
ended up
school ball, Goomba?
Lincoln High School in Yonkers.
Ah, okay, gotcha. So were
Yeah.
you? I mean, Brockport is not exactly the feeder, obviously. So this
Never.
this whole path was. I mean, my sister went to Brockport. I used to go all the time, and I
Yeah.
never remember seeing anything of note from a sports standpoint.
Well,
So
we used to, we would have maybe 300 people at our games. I remember I went out for the first Jet practice, and there were 1,000 people there. And I was standing next to Marty Lyons, and I said, "Wow, I can't believe how many people are here." So he goes, "What do you mean? That's like maybe 1,000 people,
Yeah.
1,200 people." So I said, "Marty, only 300 people came to my games in college."
Yeah.
So again, he was at Alabama, and he
Right.
just looked at me and he goes, "Did you get a scholarship?" I said, "No,
No.
I had to take a loan out."
Yeah.
So he
Wow.
goes, so he goes, "You," he goes, "There's guys like you out there." I said, "Yeah, there's guys like me out
It's
here."
me. Here I am.
You
Not
know,
to mention.
guys who were late bloomers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I mean, I graduated high school. I was only 190 pounds,
Wow.
Wow.
Hope
so
for.
I wasn't about to, play big college football. And then I graduated college. I was 260, so it's a big difference. That's a 70-pound difference.
Yeah.
A
You
lot of
made
ice
it.
cream.
You made it.
Um,
I want to go back for 1 second because I'm stuck on the Sam Kinison thing. Certainly one of the nicest comedians that I ever met when I first started, and Monty was not one of them.
I was always nice.
Was Carl LeBove. Carl LeBove was
Yeah,
one of the
Carl was
nicest.
great.
So I'm guessing through your Kinison connection, you probably spent a lot of time with Carl, who may you rest in
well,
peace.
I met Sam. I got invited to Sam's birthday party out in California. I was out in California doing something else, and he had a birthday party, and he rented out a sound studio, and Alan Stevens was there,
Hmm.
Mitchell Waters, Carl LeBeau, all those guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I had a small conversation with Sam, and I kind of hit it off with him. And he goes, "Come on, John, come back to the house with me." And that went on for quite a while.
Hmm.
And he goes, he had a full time bodyguard. He goes, "When I come to New York," at the time I was still very big, and he goes, and I did work, and he knew what I did, and he said, "When I come to New York," he goes, "I'd like to pick you up, and you work the gigs for me." So I would do that when he came to New York, and he did the Felt Forum one New Year's Eve. I did that with him, and Rascals all the time, and all sorts of stuff that he would do
Were you
in
open
the
as a
New York
comic?
area. And no, not at all. I was just a
Just the
bodyguard.
Oh, you were a
bodyguard back then. That's
bodyguard from.
before.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's before the radio. That's before any of that shit.
Yeah, that's before. This is 80s,
Yeah.
and Sam was at his height.
Yeah.
Dice was at his height,
Yeah.
and it was interesting to watch. I mean, he was a tremendous speaker. I mean, when he would be off stage and he would tell a story, you would hang on every single word that he said. I mean, you could tell that he was a pastor at some point.
Well, if you watch the old videos, the first videos of him was when he's preaching, when he was in Texas doing
Right.
that, and it's outstanding stuff. Like I've watched plenty of those videos, and you can absolutely see how he managed to turn that into being an orator and in comic and so forth.
Yeah, it's funny now. Sometimes some of these younger comedians, somebody will say something about Sam Kinison, and they don't know who he
Who he
is.
is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I hear this. I'll tell you what bothers me the most: that I'll hear these young comedians say Seinfeld sucks,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're not even smart enough to know how great he is,
Right.
Right.
right?
I know. It
Yeah.
bothers me
I
too.
mean, like you think, I was talking to Colin Quinn about this other night, and he's very close with Jerry. And I'm like, they go, "Oh, who are these people? That's not funny." That's not the point. He invented who are these people.
Right.
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 He's the one who had the style, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You
He's a
know, he
pioneer.
said, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, of his era.
Right.
And look at that sitcom. It's going to play for another 100 years.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy, and there's so many young comedians that do not know the history of comedy and do not have respect for some of the giants that came before them.
That's
You
right.
know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
like being a baseball player and not knowing who Babe Ruth is.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. It's
My Giants were Matt Burke, Chris Monty, Joe Starr, Keith Anthony. Those are my Giants that I came up in the green
Mine
room
was,
watching.
mine was John Mulrooney.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, I love
yeah,
John too.
Yeah,
yeah.
when I managed the comedy club, he would come up and oh my God, he'd get a standing ovation.
He was a
And
fucking
we
killer,
became
man. Total killer.
we became such close friends. And one day I said to him, John, he got so mad at me, but he was laughing. I said, I started doing comedy. I had the nerve to get up on stage because of you. So he goes, yeah. He goes, thank you, John. I didn't know that. I said, yeah, I just looked at you on stage and I said to myself, if he could do it, I could do it. And I meant it as a compliment.
Yeah,
He got upset. He couldn't stop laughing. He
that's
goes,
a great line.
That's
yeah,
great.
That's so
yeah.
good.
So he started laughing. And so, but we would talk on the phone for hours, 2 hours at a time,
I
two and a
love
half.
John.
Yeah.
I still
Oh,
there's a line that he said to me that I still use today because I
but
hate and I told him I was with John Maroney and I said oh, I got this gig, so and so wants me to come picking him up, and I go, I hate fucking picking up other comics. I just want to go to the gig. He goes, next time a comic asks you to pick him up, just tell him what's the first three letters in the word career.
the word what?
In the word
Korea.
career. What's the first three letters in the word career? CAR. He goes, yeah, car. Get one, asshole. I'm not picking you up. Because if you're going to be a comic, you got to have a car. And
Yeah.
so many comics like don't have cars and like, oh, could you come into the city and pick me up? I go, fuck you. No, I can't. I'm not going out of my way to pick you up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
true.
back in the day, it was even worse.
Yeah.
Especially city comics that would get gigs outside, and we would all drive together. Um, you know, when I managed the club, I would go to Catch a Rising Star on First Avenue, and Louis Ferranda was a bartender. He wasn't even a manager back then, and he would let me sit in the back, and I would look for, for talent for my club, and I became friendly with Colin Quinn, and they would run the show. The show would run concurrently all night long. It didn't stop once it started. So I would see this spectacular talent. Mike Sweeney would be hosting, right? Richard Belzer would be hosting. You'd see this is all in one night. Colin Quinn, Dennis Leary, Jerry Seinfeld, George Wallace, right? Rodney Dangerfield, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler in one fucking night,
Wow.
right? And not knowing what I was watching, historically. And I would see all the night, and they'd be going up there working on stuff, and Larry David would be there, and this is, oh man, this had to be about, I would say probably about 85.
Right.
And you had the strip, which was big, and you had Catch a Rising Star, and you had the Improv, and then you had Dangerfields, which was just really known for proms at that
Right,
time.
right.
Yeah, and you didn't have enough comedy clubs, but
Wow.
then the boom came, and everybody and his mother, every restaurant, every Charlie Brown's or Chi Chi's or whatever was
Yep.
available at the time, they did a comedy
Ground
night.
rounds used to do.
Brown rounds. Yeah, they all did a comedy night, you know, and there weren't enough comedians. I remember calling up comedians, for a benefit, like on a Wednesday night, and I said, "I need you to come up on a Wednesday night." This is 19, like say 86. I said, I can give you $300. $300. I don't go out of my house unless it's 500. I said, it's a fucking
In
Wednesday.
86, 300 is good money,
Hell
too.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was real. 300.
Unfortunately, now it's like still,
Right.
those are still the same prices. Oh, on Wednesday night, you ain't getting 300. You're getting like a 150 now.
Yeah.
What happened?
You're getting 300 for a whole weekend now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I mean, times have really, really, really changed. But there was a golden area of era of comedy where comedians were paid really, really well because there just wasn't enough of them.
Oh yeah, but LeBove told me back in the days when it was the hot and the height of the boom, the MC would make the most money on the weekend because he was really like a headliner who would have to host, and they said he goes, everybody wanted to do the MC spot because it was almost like it was your show. You kept going up after all the other comics and you
You went
got
up.
paid the most.
You went up for hours.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I would be at Catch a Rising Star, the show would, let's say, start at 8 o'clock and it would go to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Crazy.
Yeah. And
And
audiences
you,
would come in and out during the show and shit,
audience come in and out, and they would boom, and comedians would come up, and everybody got 15 minutes, and one after another, after another, after
and they
another,
got paid.
and they got paid, and they were all superstars, and
Killers.
the clubs were packed. They were packed, and it was really, really interesting. It was. For me, it was the golden age of comedy.
Well,
Yeah.
before we let Goomba go, we're gonna talk about the golden age of comedy, which is gonna be Friday, July 24th at the Brokerage in Belmore. We've already sold a shitload of tickets already.
Yep.
You know-
And I will say this: can I give him a little boost your ego?
Yeah.
So I got a lot of friends and fan base in my town, and my wife and I belong to the pool, so we take our kids to the pool, and I see a lot of people that will come up to me, oh hey, you're Chris Monty, whatever, and a group of them came up to me the other day, yesterday, and they go, hey. You were coming to the show on July 24th, and I'm like, oh, thanks so much, and they go, no, we love you, we've seen you, but we're coming for Goomba Johnny.
I love that.
Because he goes, once my husband found out Goomba was on the show, he's like, we got to go. We've seen Chris Monty 3 times.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's going to be a huge show, and comics tend to do this on social media, like get your tickets because it's going to sell out. No.
Right.
We said it last time when I had a show a couple of weeks ago, and the Brokerage sold out. This show is going to sell out. govs.com. Make sure you go to the Brokerage link. It's me, it's Monty, it's Goomba, it's Rosie Fumara hosting. It's going to be a heavy show, and it's going to be wall to wall. So get your tickets.
It's going to be great.
I want to leave you with this because Chris, you'll love this and you'll enjoy this yourself because you always get humbled in this business somehow.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it doesn't mean even at the height of my career in the radio, whatever. So I live in this building and there's 100 apartments, right? So obviously you don't know everybody. I get in the elevator and this guy, I never seen him before. He's staring at me. So he just looks at me and goes, hey, you're the comedian, huh? You're the comedian. I said, yeah, that's the rumor. I'm the comedian.
Yeah.
He goes, I heard you're good. What's your name? I said, if I was any good, you know my fucking name, wouldn't you?
Well, I love that, and I'm gonna
It's
leave,
true, too.
I'm gonna leave.
It's true, right?
I'm gonna leave Goomba with a story that he's gonna like, and he can tell Rodia. So it's the Christmas party. You were here just in January, and a newer comic comes up to me, and she sees me sitting down. I'm having something to eat. She's like, "I'm so sorry to bother you, but I can't believe you're here, and I want to take a picture with you." And I'm like, "All right, I mean, they probably know me from the podcast. I've been performing for years." So she's taking selfies and a whole bunch of things, and she gives me a hug, and she's like, "Thank you so much." And I go onto Facebook the next day, and she tags Anthony Rodia, thinking that that I'm Anthony Rodia. So it's a picture of me and her, and she tags Anthony Rodia, saying I met Anthony Rodia, and I'm like, no,
you don't look anything like Anthony Rodia.
You know what? I didn't have any facial hair. My face was shaved.
Anthony and I were looking for the fucking imposter for a long time.
Yeah, you got him. It's
That's
right
it.
there.
Hershey from Hershey and the Keegs. Goomba, you've been a pleasure,
walking.
man. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to meet you in person on Friday.
Yes, excellent.
July 24th, go to govs.com, get your tickets. Me, Goomba Johnny, my friend Mark Hirschman right here.
Boom.
And Rosie. It's going to be a fun show.
All right, I'm excited. Thank you, guys.
All right, pal. We'll see you. Thank you.
Take care,
Goomba.
John.
Take
Talk to you
care.
soon.
Talk to you
Have a good
soon.
night.
Bye.
That was terrific. He's
best.
excellent. Yeah, that was awesome. We're gonna, so again, like the old tricks. People say it all the time. You better get them low tickets. All this shit that we always do with little tricks. This show is gonna be wall to wall.
I just got somebody. I put up an ad about being here tonight on that little video I made.
Yeah.
And then underneath it, somebody wrote on there, hey, I got a babysitter for that night.
Yeah,
My husband
yeah.
and I want to come. Do I need to buy tickets in advance?
I wrote on there. I said yes.
I sent the link to the ticket
Stella
link.
Lewis or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
The lady.
I sent the link to the tickets.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
get your tickets because it's going to sell out.
It will sell out.
For those of you who've seen me before, I'll be doing the best of Chris Monty. Not a lot of new shit.
But here's the thing, though, and it's funny that you say that. So when I did the show last month, me, Haft, and Keegan and Rosie, whatever, one of my buddies is like, he'd never seen me before. We had kind of lost touch for a while, and he's like, listen, are you going to be funny or is this going to be a waste? I said, listen, even if you come and see me and you don't find me funny, there's other comics on the show that are going to be funny. So for the people who have seen your act, they're still going to love it. They're going to enjoy Goomba's act. They'll hopefully like my act and Rosie's, and it's going to be a fucking fantastic night.
It's going to be great.
We're gonna have a great time. And Tony, I think you have a show that night. I think so. I don't even know if you can. Do you have a show that night, or might you able to be swinging by and saying hello to us?
I
Yeah.
I think I'll be able to get there.
Okay. Good. Very
That
good.
means he's not coming.
No. No, that's not true.
I've seen Chris Monty so many times. No,
Yeah.
no, I,
When
no, I'll
Tony
look to
says he's around and he can make it and he's not on a day trip to Australia or something, he usually comes through.
By canoe.
Yeah, something like that. But with only 12 minutes left, we don't want to be remiss. We did want to touch on the fact that originally we wanted Monty to be on tonight, not just because we were promoting the July 24th show, but it was because it was his birthday yesterday, which is significant because as you get older, especially at his age, there's not that many left.
You're older than me, right?
And but you just look at the persona, though. I mean, I'm just saying, you had a great day with your kids. How does it feel? I know I ask you this every year, and they're not babies anymore, but still, now you have a 6-year-old,
7,
and
Olivia turned 7, and Emily's 3.5. She'll be 4 and
7 and
fall.
4. 7
and 3.
7 and 3, which is your age, 7-3. So
I'm 54.
You're doing well, though. You're really doing well. You were supposed to go on a family trip to Kutcher's this week or someplace like that.
Someplace in Pennsylvania. That's get bounced around, and when we're gonna go at the on that at the last week, the week before Labor Day weekend.
Oh, that's gonna be nice and cool there in Pennsylvania.
That's all right. It's it's in the mountains, so it actually is cooler than it is
nice,
here.
And the kids run around, and it's nice.
It's an amusement park,
and it's not expensive, that place.
If you spend $100 a day, you spend a lot of money.
We
spend more on the hotel and then the drinks and dinners afterwards than we do at the park.
Now, will this trip be? Will your sister-in-law and brother-in-law Jen and Chris with the kids? Will they be there too?
I hope so. It's usually a family trip with them and my in-laws and my mother-in-law, father-in-law.
So it's just a great day. You guys frolic.
We
around,
go for like 3 days.
Roller coasters and
everything. Roller coasters,
go
karts. All kinds of airplane rides. It's like old school amusement park.
For me, as a kid, the one amusement park that I went to a lot was Rye Playland, which is an old.
I remember
school,
Rye. Yep.
It's a great place. It's the old rickety
It had the
wood.
upside down roller coaster.
Absolutely, but it's like you can hear the wood.
Oh yeah, you think you're dying every time as you're cranking up to the top of that roller coaster. You go, this might be the last trip for this roller coaster, and I'm on it.
Meanwhile, though, you don't ever hear a fucking problem about those old roller coasters. You hear it's about these new places. In Adventureland, there was a new roller coaster. You hear that a few weeks ago, Tone, where they I heard about it. There was got stuck up in the air. Those old wood ones are okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The old ones are fine. And, more trains go off the track on flatland than at those upside down roller coasters.
That's
those
right.
Old rickety roller coasters.
That's right. Exactly.
But the birthday was nice yesterday. Just chilled out with the family.
So you had a little. So it was the family. You did a little backyard thing. What'd you do?
Yeah, we just did a little. I always like to do seafood. I'm a big seafood guy. So normally on my birthday and on Valentine's Day and on New Year's Day, those are the 3 days of the year I always have lobster. I steam lobsters. I buy them live. I steam them up.
So you go to where in town in Flora Park, and you go to the
it's
fish
a great
market,
Wright House Fish Market on Colbert Avenue.
Been there forever. In
Great place.
Yeah.
But yesterday, because it was extended and people were going to come over, it wasn't just me and my immediate family. My in-laws wanted to come over and everything, which I welcome. I did more of like a big tomato sauce with clams and mussels and calamari and shrimp over linguine, and then plus I grilled some burgers and stuff for people that didn't want to eat seafood.
Right.
And we just had a nice little hang, and it was wonderful. Couple glasses of vino. And it was beautiful.
And will the kids eat the little ones? Will they eat the seafood or not really?
My Emily will.
Yeah.
Olivia used to like it, but now she's got the food. They get food aversions as they get older.
Food sensitivity, texture, taste.
So now, but Olivia's getting more tempted towards shrimp because she likes how shrimp looks. So she's like, I'm like, Olivia, take a bite. I know she's not allergic to it because she's had it when she was little.
Right.
But yeah, so they didn't really eat it. So it was me, my wife, my dad. And my brother-in-law and stuff. We all ate that, and we had, like I said, a few drinks. Just hung out. It was nice, calm, chill.
In the backyard, relax.
I didn't even put it this way. I forgot about the home run derby.
Yeah.
And I have a TV out there. I would have had it on in the background.
I got to be honest with you. I find the thing to be fucking torture.
But I don't have Netflix out there. That's the thing.
I find it to be torture.
And tonight, I'm glad I'm here not watching that stupid All-Star game.
I'm sorry.
Although I do like the fact that they went back to wearing their uniforms from the team they played for.
Yeah.
I hated those stupid made-up uniforms. Let's wear your uniform like the old days.
Wear your uniform like the old days. I can't stand the format of anything with baseball nowadays. That's a sore subject with me.
I'm glad it doesn't matter anymore who wins this game for home field in the World Series.
Right.
Like, let the best team earn who earned
just
it.
Fuck it. No one gives a shit.
No one
Let them
cares.
beat the piss out of each other. That's all I care about. Speaking of beating the piss out of each other, let's talk
Let's talk about my marriage.
As three diehard Jet fans, let's go ahead because we were just talking about this before the show, and this should be something that we talk about. And Tony, you can come on the mic for this. You're always welcome to. Not only did the Jets have arguably the worst quarterback in the NFL who they've had and that they got rid of, and now they brought him back late in his career, this fucking bum, Geno Smith, but add in the fact that this guy can't get out of his own way.
Listen,
Tony, what is every single day? It's
I'll let Tony talk first, then I'll make my comment.
No, don't let Tony talk first because I don't know what happened.
He's had 3 speeding
He
tickets?
had I think 2 speeding tickets and then an incident where he got into a fight with his. I don't think it was his girlfriend's, the mother of his kid. I think it was her best friend that he got into a fight
regardless
with.
of what it
and now
is.
the baby mama came out and defended Geno, saying she was wrong for going over his house with a camera in his face.
Why are you in these situations?
Yeah.
You're the quarterback of the New York Jets.
As far as the worst quarterback in football, I forget last year because the Raiders were a train wreck. They weren't trying to win.
He's in the conversation.
But 2 years before that, he had very decent years.
But now, it's been a couple of years removed from that.
And every quarterback that has played under Frank Reich's system has succeeded. So that was my confidence. Like, you just need him to be a competent quarterback, and not be a turnover machine.
But can you just act like a fucking
that I
adult?
agree 110% with that.
Can you just act like an adult?
And you know what the best part of this was? Before this happened, the Jets were making some great moves, getting some nice veterans, drafting well.
They were making
and
good
they
moves.
were under the radar, and everything was Harbaugh and the Giants and rah rah rah, and Jackson Dart being a porn celebrity, always women going crazy over him, and the Jets were making no noise. And I go, this is what I like. This is the Aaron Glenn I wanted. The guy who comes in and goes, I'm going to be like Parcells. Shut the doors. They don't know our business. And now this guy, isn't Aaron Glenn going to grab him and go, hey, what the fuck? I don't want these headlines. What are you doing?
But I think that's part
and his
of
birthday
the
is on
issue.
Thursday, Aaron Glenn. He's born the same year as me, 3 days after. I'm 3 days older than him.
I have to be honest. If I was going to pick one of those birthday boys to be the Jet coach, it wouldn't be him. It would be you, because I think he's so freaking inept. I don't think he's the man for the job.
But I'm glad that you got Frank Reich in the room. There's an adult
I
in the room.
understand that, but I mean, ultimately, what's going to happen, as I said last year, as soon as I heard about the Reich signing, is that the Jets going to be off to a 2-11.
If they're 1-6, it's going to be Frank Reich's show.
I understand that, but then
another lost season.
But then you have a coach picking up in the middle of a shit season,
Same thing.
and it's impossible to.
It's a revolving
to build
door
that way. So
it's a Woody Johnson problem. They need to get a new owner.
I'm not. I've never been. Even when the Knicks were going through the hard times, like, you got to rebuild. Like, no. We're too old for that shit. Like, it's got to be now. Now. It has to be.
The Knicks. The best birthday present I ever got early was the New York Knicks.
Absolutely.
And you know what? It's carried me through. I'm still basking in the
Basking
glory
in
and
the
the
glory
glow.
of it. Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I still didn't get my championship cap. It doesn't ship until August 1st because it was
Wow.
sold out at Dick's.
Wow.
But you know what? I got that. The Mets, I saw 86 until David Stearns is gone. I don't think they'll ever make the playoffs again. He's a fucking train wreck. And I got to enjoy my Islanders at least remembering from 8 to 11, 4 cups in a row, playing in 5 cups in a row.
Yeah, but me and my buddy Sco were talking about this the other day, that the fact that the Yankees have been eating dicks and the Mets have been eating dicks doesn't
The
bother
Yankees are
us that
fine.
much. No, but they're not.
But you saw
doing
so many
well.
championships with them.
No, what I'm saying is currently the fact that we can wake up every day with this insanity in our mind about the Knicks winning. Like, do you still go through it? You wake up, you're like, wait, they didn't really win, did they? Like,
I go on, and all I look for is highlights from Game 4, and the final game when they won it, and what's his name, Breen was like, you can cry now. This is not a dream, Knicks fans, and I get chills, and
so,
I'm like,
I don't know if I told you this. I talked about it on the show, but we were at Laurie's house, the Babsky Siegel house we're watching, and it started out as very small groups. It was Laurie is a hardcore Knicks fan, legitimately.
And,
like Laurie,
and Wally, may he rest in peace, was a huge Knicks fan.
he was a huge Knicks fan, but what happened was by game 2, I'd set up a Wally shrine in the house there.
Ricky, who I worked for this weekend, showed me pictures of that.
Yeah, so I set it up. Yeah. No one was allowed to touch it. No one could. It wasn't allowed to leave. The house had to stay that way. Like people couldn't sit in the chair for days because of it. And what was happening is that people were getting wind that we were watching the game, and people wanted to come. And Laurie is the most generous. You know that she's the most generous person alive. And it would be 10 people, then 12, and another few families. And before game 5, she's like, "There's going to be a lot of people here. How do you feel about it?" I'm like, "I'm not happy about it."
Right, because you want to ruin the juju.
Yeah, you don't have to call me that, but
no.
But
I didn't mean it.
What Laurie was kind enough to say, I'm going to set up the back room for you. They have an office where they watch like Scotty's yard on camera. So and there's a TV in there. She's like, if you have an issue where you can't be around the people,
because you want to focus, you want to be locked in.
Because I'm a fucking nutcase.
That's how I am.
That's it.
Like if the Jets ever got to a Super Bowl, I'm like, there would be like 5 people allowed in to watch. I won't have my normal Super Bowl party.
Hey, buddy, you don't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not happening.
I know that. But I'm just saying, that's how crazy
we're good. We're good. Don't worry. We'll be fine with that.
You'd be the same way, though. If they got there, you'd be like, you know what? I only need my... Like, I would watch it with you because I know we'll be locked in on it and we'll be bitching to each other about what they just did wrong.
Absolutely. But what I'll tell you is, when the Knicks were down 8 points in Game 5, this is how
I was never
crazy.
worried.
When they were down 8 points, I turned to whoever was next to me. I said, "They're winning this game. Like we have them right where they want them."
Right.
And so what happened is there was a crowd of 30 to 40 people. It was huge, and the Knicks win, and Breen was saying what he was saying, and people were hugging and all this stuff, and I was just sitting there. First, I just had my hands on my head for about 20 seconds. I couldn't believe it. And then a wave of incredible emotion came over me, and I was heavy sobbing, not just like a little bit tears, like I was out of control sobbing. And one of our friend Kristen Nocerino, was like patting me on the back, like she thought I was like upset. Like no one really knows how to react when there's a 54-year-old
money on the Spurs.
No, but like people don't really know how to react when a psychopath is weeping there. But what you think about, someone like me and you think about. I've been watching this team. My favorite play was Arnie Grunfeld. Like that's who I love.
Bernard King.
But, right, exactly.
My brother and I got to watch it with my brother and my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And we would talk. My brother and I were like, Bernard King is when we started watching the Knicks.
Bernard King, so 1981, whatever it is. So what you do is, of course, me being an emotional sissy girl, thinking about all the games I watched, and my father died during, all your life goes through you. But I never stopped watching this team. You never stopped watching the team. And
when it was the real shit years, I'd check in.
Okay.
I'd check out. I always check the box scores. I'd always whatever. I'd watch a game here and there, but it was tough during a lot of but I still there was still my team.
You're not going for 2 years without watching a game.
No. The only thing I will say is since Easter, I really have not watched any Met game, but I came into the season going, fuck David Stearns.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
That was my attitude. After we let Alonso go, I dropped the ball. I'm like, fuck him. But yeah, with the Knicks, same thing. And you know what? That's what you have. I just remember I was at when Parcells coached the Jets in '98, and we went we won a division, and we had a home playoff game versus the Jaguars.
That's right.
I had season tickets.
Yep, I remember.
And for that particular game, my season tickets were kind of up back. I got 50-yard line seats, 3 rows down for me and my brother. So I gave my 2 seats. My brother and I had 2 seats to 2 other friends.
Yep.
And my brother and I sat on the 50-yard line. And when we won that game against the Jaguars, and we were going to the championship game, I just remember my brother grabbed me, and we were like in tears, like,
tears.
People were going to the championship game,
right?
They're like Parcells is going to take us to the Super Bowl. Like this team is that good, and it was that feeling.
You never thought it wasn't going to happen. I totally agree. I thought that was the time. And once they lost that game to Pittsburgh, I guess it was right.
No, in '98 they lost to Denver Broncos.
Denver,
they were up 10-0 at halftime.
That's right. Pittsburgh. Okay.
Keith Byers fumbles the fucking ball.
Once that happened, the Denver, you knew it was over
Oh yeah, no, it was over. Yeah, once you give Elway a window, there's no way he's not coming.
I got to be honest, and we'll close on this. I have to be honest. When the Knicks lost, not
Game
this
3
year,
to Atlanta.
No. This is last year when they lost Game 1 to the Cavaliers when they were up 8 with like a couple of.
No, you're talking about the Pacers.
Pacers, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Pacers.
Yeah.
And Thibodeau totally.
No, they were up 14 points.
They mismanaged the clock, the whole thing, and then Tyrese Halliburton came and was scoring left and right.
I was so mad.
I thought it was
late.
over.
It was late.
Over.
And it was it was late, and we're up. My kids are up, and they're trying to go to sleep. They're falling asleep. I was so mad. My wife was yelling at me. She's like, "You're a psychopath right now." I said, "I want to smash the." Fuck, you don't understand. You don't understand how upset I am. So now, then as this season went on, and they went through the ups and downs of the season, and you and I texted, you're like, "It's over, buddy. This team ain't winning shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, this team ain't winning. Mike Brown's not the guy." Let me tell you something. Big apologies to Mike Brown.
Hell yeah.
Kudos to Mike Brown.
I
And you
love
know
Mike
what?
Brown.
And now you got guys like LeBron toying with, maybe I should be a bench player for the Knicks because I want to win one more before I go out.
No thanks.
Like,
We don't need
no,
them.
I know. We don't need him.
Yeah.
We got the team right now. I miss Mitch, but you know what?
We'll be fine.
This team, now
We'll be
it's house
fine.
money.
House
now
money.
it's house money. You know they're going to be a playoff team.
That's
you
it.
get in, and we just enjoy it.
3-4 more championships. We'll be happy.
Best tweet of 2 weeks ago was Josh Hart.
Yeah.
USA got knocked out of the soccer tournament, but the Knicks are still champions.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, everybody.
July 24th.
But you want to anything else you want to promote that's out of town or anything like that? Or
All you need to know is July 24th. If you live in Nassau County, Queens, or Western Suffolk County, and you can come to the brokerage for me and Goomba Johnny and this fine, funny old guy.
Thank you.
And Rosie. It's going to be just a fun night of laughs and good clean comedy.
Yes.
I
don't know about
I don't know about
comedy.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
the flyers up
I
there.
have a
Tony's
little
got the flyer
nervous
up there.
Tourette thing that I get.
Yeah, he
I
says
curse
fucking. He says fucking cunt every other word. But just come and see the show.
If you want to see that, you better come to this
He'll
show.
only be on for 6 minutes, and then we're getting him off.
No. I think I'll probably do a good strong 10, 12. I got a couple of
Do
new
whatever
bits.
you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Me and Goomba are going to do 35 each, and Rosie will host, and it's just going to be a fun night. So
Absolutely.
The flyer's right there. Tony put it up. Get your
Good.
tickets and
good.
come see us.
govs.com, July 24th, 8 p.m. Doors open at 6:30. And before we go, we'll let Tony go ahead and promote anything. I know he's got some good shows coming up, Labor Day of 27. So go ahead.
I'll be in the tea house. He should talk at tea house.
I'm just pushing governor's dates. I know they're far off, but we got some fun audience interactive murder mystery shows at McGuire's in October and at the brokerage in December.
October isn't that far away.
No, that'll be it. Listen, they already have Halloween shit in CVS and Walgreens. So,
and again, can't reiterate enough. We break Tony's balls, but the people that I know who go to these shows, they rave about them. These murder mysteries.
And it's so funny. A friend of mine just said to my wife, she must have saw that. She goes, "Anybody interested in going to a murder mystery?"
Yeah.
But what's 80s murder mystery? Just the same thing, but just listening to Thriller?
No, it's the show he made in the 80s, and it's still the same.
No, they're all different shows, but they all have themes. We have a mob show, we have an 80s show, stuff like that.
People. I know people go. They rave about them.
Thanks.
So
when you go, real quick, when you do your murder mystery, is it like they come in, sit down, and watch it, or they're a part of it? They're like when I went to Tony and Tina's wedding, we were at the wedding, we sat down, we ate and the characters are sitting at the table while you're talking.
Well, it's a little more scripted than Tony and Tina's, but it is kind of the same vein where it's interactive throughout, but it's more scripted. They are watching more of a show. And but we do interact with them throughout.
And they have to try and figure out who the murderer is.
The murder happens about 3/4 of the way through. Once everybody sees the relationships that the characters have.
It's fantastic.
It's always the butler, though. You know that. It's always the butler.
Or it's Mr. White with the candlestick or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Very good. So,
go see it.
And every day, make sure you're watching this channel at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. Knock 'em Dead Comedy. Tony has Diane Fogarty on Tuesdays. Francesca Pablo. What is the name? Pamliaganco?
Francesco Panabianco.
She's on Mondays. You have Mike Kaplan and some other imposters on during the week. Rosie on Fridays.
Peter's here, right?
No, there's always something going on at this place. So make sure you.
I love Tony's show.
No, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And
he's always gracious to let me come on whenever I ask him.
Of
You're
course,
always gracious to come on.
Yeah,
I love coming on your show.
Absolutely true. Thank you, everybody. Herschy and the Keegs Show, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the whole nine. Herschy and the Monty. Herschy and the Monty.
That's the new show. Why do I look so old and wrinkled there? But I don't
No,
look
that's
that.
just a regular picture.
Why do you look like a teen lesbian? Like you look like you know.
No, again, regular picture.
You look like what you look like? Like I'm Epstein and you're on my island for young boys.
Yeah,
that's what that looks like.
That's a legitimate picture. Yeah. All right.
What do you want? A tank top?
No, it's a dress. It's a dress.
You've gotten good with your stuff, Tone. You're
Mark
really good.
Denise Hirschman. Thank you
I
so
love
much.
that. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
All right, you.